Welcome back to Inside Franklin Athletics. I'm pretty sure this is episode 19, something like that. Maybe episode 19. So we're just working our way through all the sports. And my name is Jake Trueblood, your host as always, here with Nick Wilson. How are you doing today, Nick?
I'm doing great today, Jake.
Awesome. Today we have a state diver with us, Camy Quiggins. How are you doing today, Camy?
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome. Not bad. Let's jump right on into the questions. So obviously, last year you were already in state, or you made it to state. Was it tougher to get back this time around?
I wouldn't say it was really I don't know. Okay. Sectionals was a lot harder to make it through this year just because there was a lot of talent. We have one of the hardest sectionals in the state.
Okay.
But regionals definitely was not as difficult to get through. So,
Nice.
Yeah.
And then since you've already been to state, how is that experience going to help you this time around?
I think I'm going to already know, like, the gist of it, the pressure, that's a big thing. I'm already going to know the pool, the boards, how the judges judge. I think, mainly the pressure and, like, how it affects you mentally.
Okay.
Is the state tournament for diving, is it all singular, or can you go as teams?
It's all singular, but say I make it to finals, top 15 to 16, score points for, you can contribute to swimmers. So say I got like 15th, I get 2 points for the swimmers. So it's kind of
Oh,
like
okay.
that.
And
Yeah.
then is the girls' team going to state as a whole, or are they going individually this year?
I think they have like 2 relays going.
Okay.
Honestly, not sure,
Okay.
but I think they have some individuals too.
So obviously you placed, you said 15th last year?
15th or 14th.
15th or 14th?
Yeah.
So what's your goal going into this year?
This year I really want to make podium, so top 8.
Top 8? Be
Yeah.
awesome. And then there's even more room to grow after this year.
Yeah.
'Cause you've got 2 years left.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll have a state champion in a year or two.
So, Camy, you finished sectionals this past Monday and then had a quick turnaround for regionals on Tuesday. Was that difficult to deal with since there was not a lot of time in between those two?
Honestly, I kind of liked it better just because there was no time to like get in my head and be like, oh, I can't do this. So I only had 1 practice in between sectionals and regionals. So I don't know. I feel like it kind of helped me in the long run.
It kind of makes sense. And then you've got state this Saturday. It's not like
Yeah.
there's a lot of time in between there, too, which really surprised me because basically your entire postseason is just 1 week.
Yeah, it's just 1 week, yeah.
Really weird. So you told me you have a walkthrough tomorrow at the natatorium.
Yes,
So
tomorrow.
what's that going to look like for you?
So I actually have a club practice just for our club from 11 to 1. And then I know our region has the individual practice. I'm not sure what time that is. So I'll basically have 2 practices at the Nat, just like getting a feel for the boards and like the pool.
Okay, that makes sense.
You said a walkthrough, so would you do any dives that day?
Yeah, I do all my dives.
Well, I mean, during like some other sports walkthroughs, it's just like going through what you're doing. It's not like a full-blown...
I don't know if she actually said walkthrough. I just kind of used that word. Well, I think he's saying because in football, if we were to have a walkthrough, we would kind of like just walk through our plays and just
Okay.
it'd be like the day before, like a mental thing. I think it's different
Yeah.
for diving for sure.
Yeah. Like what I had in my head was you're going through what you were planning on diving and just like how that day's going to go and whatever.
Okay.
So do you have like, I've never seen a diving competition really, except maybe like on the Olympics. Are there like different dives that you do, or do you just, do you want to explain that for us?
Okay, so I do 11 dives, and they all have to be completely different. But there's 2 or 3 from each category. So there's like front, back, inward, reverse, and then twisters.
Uh-huh.
So I do like, what do you want to know? Like,
I don't know. We just, I have no idea like what you guys do for diving other than that you
Yeah.
jump off a board and land in the water.
I do like front 2.5, twisters, all of like 1.5s in like each direction.
So how do you score points? Like what makes it better? You know what I mean?
Okay, so basically you do your dive, and then there's like, at these big meets, there's going to be like 10 judges. And then, like, I'm not sure how many get counted off. And then, so like the highest and lowest, so it's like fair, I guess. So say I did a really good dive, I could get like an 8. and then I could get like a 4, but the 4 would be counted off because it's not very fair.
Okay.
And then you multiply it by how hard the dive is, so it's called DD. So say I was doing a front 2.5, that'd be like a 2.4.
Mm-hmm.
So you add up, like, say I got 8s on it, it'd be 8 plus 8 plus 8 times 2.4, and that's how many points you get for a dive.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so like in different meets, do you carry over dives that you do, or is it like new every time?
I do like the same list every time, so the same dives every time. But I mean, the points don't carry over. It's like fresh every time. Yeah, same dives.
I got you.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So are you looking to dive in college?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you have any idea as to where you might want to go?
Either IU, Iowa, or Alabama.
Iowa and Alabama. Wow, that's really diverse.
I don't know. I just like their rules.
So she's either going way out west, way down south, or she's staying 30 minutes from home.
Yep.
I love it.
Camy, what does a typical diving practice look like, and is there a difference between regular season practice and a postseason practice?
Yes. Okay, so in-season practice, like high school season, I get out of school, I go eat a snack, and then I stretch, sometimes jump on a trampoline, do some conditioning sometimes, and then we get in the water. Right now, I'm just doing like one a piece of all my dives to, stay. I don't want to be too like hard on my body right now. And then, get out, go home.
So,
Yep.
so it's kind of like for football season, as the season progressed, we got less physical.
Yeah,
we didn't have
definitely.
as many big hitting days. So that's kind of the same thing for dive. You don't want to take too much out on your body before a big meet like this.
Yeah, not doing much right now.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, do you want to know about the postseason practice?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Postseason's actually a lot harder because I have USA diving and like international meets.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, so high school season's just kind of for fun. But that, like in the summer, we train for like 7 hours a day, get a lunch break though. Yeah, those are a lot harder. And we condition a lot harder and do dryland a lot harder, run a lot. Yeah.
So when you say USA diving, is it like explain that? Because
Like,
what I'm thinking right now is like you're like a youth Olympics type thing.
yeah.
You are? Dang. So what percentage does that put you at in like the nation?
Last year I was like, did not go well last year. I was like 28th in the nation.
28th person in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
Dang. So and that's in like your class?
It's 14-year-olds to 15-year-olds, but really it was like 13 to 16.
Oh,
If that makes
okay.
sense.
And who do you compete against? Is it just everybody else in the country, or do
Yeah.
they take like a team and play other countries? Or dive against other countries? I don't think you play
Yeah.
dive. Yeah.
International competitions, yeah.
That's
I
awesome.
was gonna go to one, but it got canceled because COVID.
So are your aspirations to become an Olympic diver someday?
Maybe.
Maybe?
I don't know. I don't want to look too far ahead, but
Wait, so
cool.
if you dive against other countries, where would that take place?
okay. The one I was gonna go to, but it got canceled. That was in Canada.
Dang.
Oh my.
That's awesome.
Thanks.
So, Camy, you're only a sophomore, and a lot of times the leadership role on a team is left up to the senior.
Mm-hmm.
But since your level of performance is so high, have you kind of, slid into that role a little bit?
I think I definitely have, just having a lot of experience in like higher level competitions. I definitely can help the younger divers like mentally a lot, especially mentally,
Yeah.
get them through hard meets and stuff. But yeah, I think I've definitely stepped up.
Definitely. Do you guys have a lot of interaction with the rest of the swimming team?
Not so much this year. I'm trying to get better about it. I think it's definitely getting a lot better towards the end of the season.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, swimming and diving have always been like kind of separated. But
It kind of reminds me of, I used to throw discus, so a lot of times while the meets were the same, all of the throwers would kind of do their own thing.
Yeah.
And then the runners would just,
Yeah,
because
it's
it's in a different spot.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and you mentioned about how you have all this experience, and how do you think that your state experience will probably help you this time around?
definitely not as nervous. I also dive club there a lot of the time, so I already know the pool, I already know the boards. Also, like the crowd can usually determine how you do, I guess. Get people a lot, like, pretty nervous. But I think since I have gone to, like, nationals and stuff, I think state just won't be as nerve-wracking, if that makes sense.
The boards, you said you have to get to know the boards. Are, like, boards, is, like, the tension different at certain places and that kind of thing?
Definitely. I've never been on a board that feels like the same as another one, just because there's a lot that makes a board. Like, I know at IUPUI, it's set on a concrete block rather than, like, crappy, just like
Plastic.
stand. So it makes it a lot, I think they're a lot harder to control, but they're a lot bouncier. So it's easier to do better.
So would you rather it be bouncier so you can, like, have more time with more height to do more stuff in your dive?
Personally, I like boards that aren't as bouncy just because I spin really fast. So I don't really need a bouncy board. And it's a lot harder for me to control just because, they're just a lot harder to control.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks so much for being on here, Camy. I wish you the best of
you.
luck in state, and I think that's all the questions I have.
That's all the questions I have.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
Thank you for joining us on this edition of Inside Franklin Athletics, and we will be back here next week with a new athlete from Franklin, and we hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you later. What?
I'm supposed to say we're like shouting out all the other videos now, so check out the 10 count and Coach's Corner and the Grizzly Cub News, the Grizzly News.
The Grizzly News.
The Grizzly News, and we'll try and put those in boxes around the screen, so click somewhere. See you later.